sun,
of the sun,
rejoicingly.
rejoicingly.
Now let us join together. We don't need to call and response. Okay? And when I rise, let me rise like a bird, joyfully. And when I fall, let me fall like a leaf, gracefully, without regret. And when I sit, let me sit like a mountain, solidly. And when I lay, let me lay like a lake, calm and still, reflecting all. And when I work, let me work like a bee, lazily. And when I play, let me play like the rays of the sun, rejoicingly. Thank you. Wonderful, this sangha. I feel the sangha body slowly calm and still and more harmonious, more at peace and more joy. So today we're lucky. We have the sun come out. It's getting warmer and the flower blooming. And this morning, have anyone seen the moon setting? Yeah. Oh, from time to time it's rare because it's clear. So we just enjoy that. So now let us sing. What else, sister? What else do you like? How about the circle song? Some of us might know the circle song. So it's the verse just about 4 verses, and then it's just repeating, but with different kind of subject. Like there's a place for you in the circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle. All people hand in hand. And then there is peace, there is love, there is healing. Yeah, so I play, and let's go like this. There's a place for you in a circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle. All people hand in hand. There is love for you in the circle. A love you can understand. Come and join the circle. All people hand in hand. There is peace in the circle. Non-violence is our plan. Come and join the circle. All people hand in hand. There is strength in the circle. As together we all stand. Come and join the circle. All people hand in hand. There is healing in the circle. Healing on the
people hand in hand. There's a place for you in the circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle of people hand in hand.
Wow, thank you. I don't know, but I like the OI retreat. This morning, our first sitting, but can you feel the energy? And just be just so quiet and still, and just like enjoy the breathing. Enjoy the breathing, and then we call out the name of Shakyamuni. You see the volume? It's so powerful, like the whole sangha body, like together, and it's just so nourishing. With that, let us sing the Buddha.
Yeah.
We call the Buddha, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the sangha. Let me see. How about you are okay? How about 19? You are my sangha. You are my sangha. You are my sangha. Oh, you are my sangha. It's like you are my sunshine, right?
Sangha, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sangha away. You are my sangha, my lovely sangha. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sangha away.
Let me see if we have the monastic brother and sister are here. Okay. So thank you so much, dear sangha. So we have a few more days to go, and each day we sing some new song, learn to sing some new song together. And now we invite the monastic brother and sister to come up and offer chanting before the sharing today. And thank you, Claire, for coming up. Sing with us. Thank you, sister.
Dạ, mời quý thầy, quý sư cô mình xếp giống như tối hôm qua. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ tụng May the Day Be Well trang số 2 và Đầu Cành Dương Liễu trang số 1.
Dear community, just a reminder that if you have your phones with you, please turn them off or put them in silent and airplane mode. And those of us who need hearing assistance, please get a device. And also those who need translation, also get your device so that you can settle down and enjoy the chant and the Dharma talk. Thank you.
Contemplations before chanting. The sangha is invited to come back to our breathing so that our collective energy of mindfulness will bring us back together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole sangha breathe as one body, chant as one body, listen as one body, and transcend the boundaries of a delusive self, liberating from a superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex.
May the day be well and the night be well. May the midday hour bring happiness too. In every minute and every second, may the day and night be well. By the blessing of the triple gem, may all things be protected and safe. May all beings born in each of the four ways live in the land of purity. May all in the three realms be born upon lotus thrones. May countless wandering souls realize the three virtuous positions of the Bodhisattva path. May all living beings with grace and ease fulfill the Bodhisattva stages. The countenance of the world honored one, like the full moon, or like the orb of the sun, shines with the light of clarity. A halo of wisdom, spread in every direction, enveloping all with love and compassion, joy and equanimity. Namo Shakya Munaya cành dương liễu vương cam lộ, một giọt mười phương rơi cung đầy, bao nhiêu trầm lụy yêu tan hết, đàn tràng thanh tịnh ở ngày đây. Nam mô Bồ Tát Thánh Lương Địa. Nam mô Bồ Tát Thánh Lương Địa. Nam mô Bồ Tát Thánh Lương Địa. Trí tuệ bừng lên đóa biên tài, đứng yên trên sóng sạch trầm ai, cam lộ chữa lành cơn khổ bệnh, hào quang quét sạch vui nguy tai. Hiểu biết phất bày muôn
Good morning. Dear respected Thầy, dear Sangha, this morning we have a chance to share our practice with you. I am very honored to share with Mr. Ratner. First, I think that I would like to let him share first, but one of my friends said, no, lady first. And monastic first. So I would like to share first. I hope that my sharing is simple and easy for you to understand and on time for Mitchell to continue to share the second topic. So this retreat, the theme of this retreat is the art of happiness. So I would like to share my experience of how to generate the happiness in our daily life. One time I asked Thầy, what can I give a talk if I have a chance to give them a talk? And they said, you just share what you practice. So today I just share what I practice for many years. But before that, I would like to say that today, this retreat, I'm very happy to see all the familiar faces from the past, like Chị Trân Hảo. I met her since 1988, when the first time I came to Plum Village. Until now, she's still there, and I'm still here, but we are getting old. And the second person I would like to say that Mr. Ratner, I met him since I was a novice nun. Yeah, you came to Plum Village 1990, so 91? 91. First year I ordained to became a novice nun. So now I would like to, I'm so happy to see everyone as well, yeah? So first, I just want to say about happiness. When we talk about happiness, we know that we cannot ignore suffering, right? Happiness and suffering are both sides of reality, because we are still in the dualistic view of the phenomena of the world. So when we're talking about happiness, we know that the missing of something, yeah? Like Thầy usually give a sample of two sides of the coin. So if we turn this side is front or back, it depends on us. Suffering or happiness depend on us as well. If we want to turn to suffering, then we go to the suffering world. Wait, the way we live to create the suffering. But if we want to happiness, to be happy, we choose the way to make our life happy. It depends on us, depends on our hand, our mind. And but at the order of interbeing, at the practitioner of mindfulness, of course, we are choosing the way of happiness. And my practice, the first practice to generate happiness in my daily life, since I was a novice nun. When I first met Thầy, and you know, Thầy always talk about breathe, my dear. But I don't know why Thầy always reminded me that. For me, in the past, breathing is something boring. I'm sorry, this is true. That's what I'm taught. Why they always talk, breathe my dear, thở đi con, thở đi con. Or watch your step, you know, nhìn vào bước chân kìa. And I said, why? I think meditation is something like, okay, your mind go away to somewhere, and you know, for me meditation is something very out of this world. Something you concentrate and your body is here, but your soul can go somewhere. But I didn't think that breathing, mindful breathing is meditation. Because breathing is something, is part of our life. Without breathing, we cannot survive, right? But what the Thai words, it came to my mind until one day when I left Plum Village to Vietnam, because I've been ordained and became a nun very long time. So when I grow up, and they said, now, my child, you should go to Vietnam to do service, the sangha. So I went there and I encountered many difficulties in Vietnam. And one day I sit in the room in the one temple, and the blood for almost a week. And I felt that, oh my goodness, I don't know when the water go away. But suddenly I remembered Thai words that, breathe, my dear. It came to my mind. And I come back to my breathing and I breathe. Or when I encounter difficulty with my elder sister, we have conflict, you know, in the sangha. We have complexity, you know, low self-esteem. I also emotional cry. And I remember Thai reminded me, breathe, my dear, breathe. So I came back to my breathing, and then the difficulty, the suffering is gone very quick. And I can see that gradually, you know, every year, then come, a year pass, I can see the miracle of mindful breathing. So later on, I can go deeper in my mindful breathing, and I can see that is when I encounter difficulty situation, or when I see something injustice in the world, I also breathe. And then after breathing, I can see very clearly what's happened in the world today. Yeah. So breathing is the first guideline of my practice. It's like something to show me the way, you know. And smile. How can we smile in the difficulty situation? But I think that we can. After we looking deeply to in reality, and we need to accept the cause and the condition. This is we learn from the Buddha teaching. We know that everything cannot be nothing to something. This is because that is. This is not because that is not. So the world, why the world still happen in the world today, or the natural disasters, why the world today so many happen? We need to look deeply, and we understood why. Because we are the one created, right? We are the one created. I think everyone, you know that when we're looking deeply, after we calm down our mind by mindful breathing, we can see that because the world still contains the craving, the anger, the hatred, the greed, the fighting, the desire. So we can see that why it's happened to our world today. So then it's not because of the situation. We cannot see the beautiful of the world today. Like this morning when I went to meditation hall sitting, I saw the moon, Last night my younger sister told me, Sime, look, the moon. And I said, wow, beautiful. And then this morning I saw the moon again. I remember in the past in Plum Village, when the full moon day, I usually send the message to us by, my child, I send you the moon, recollect it. And we know that, we know all the sisters said, we walk meditation. When I lived in Low Hamlet in 30 years ago, 35 years ago. So anytime when the full moon day, I always send a message. I order for you the moon, or I send to you the moon, or I came to Plum Village and they start to walk meditation with us. So we enjoy the moon and smile. So during we watch the moon, can you remember the world or natural disaster, or you just enjoy the moon? We practice to live in the present moment, right? The life only truly present in the here and now. You live here and you cannot thinking of the world in Israel or Ukraine somewhere, or the earthquake or the volcano eruption. We enjoy the present moment. And the second thing for me to generate happiness in my daily life is the Bodhisattva vow. Before in 1989, I said, my child, you want to become a nun? I said, no, I want Jordan 14 mindfulness training. In the past, because I saw many brothers and sisters who wear the brown jackets, I said, oh, it looks very, charming. And so I want to wear the brown jacket. I don't want to become a nun. So I said, no, not yet, you not yet. But later on, when I became a nun for 1 year, and the second year, I said, Hang in, today you receive the 14 mindfulness training. I said, really, I can receive the 14? For me, the wear the brown jacket is something, very, in Vietnamese, like why, I don't know how to share, translate in English. Why is something like you arrogant or something. But Thai said, you wear the brown jacket, it's not like what you think. So the 14 mindfulness training is something like the Bodhisattva vow. That's what Sister Chen Kong told me, So when the year passed, when I practiced, when I live in America or in European, when I live in the environment of convenient life, and one day I remember when I was in Plum Village, and I remember that, I thought of people in Vietnam, like the sister who live in a very poor temple, or in the people who lack food. Why I have enough food to eat? I have money, but even though my money not much like you, we have $70 a month in the past. In Plum Village, we have only 300 francs in 1990 some until when the euro from franc they changed to euro money. But I think that, 304 and still save money and you send to the sister, the nun who live in the Vietnam. So think that they have the idea of sharing my material to the people who lack food, who lack money, who don't have enough convenience. So this time this year, the end of this year, we came back to Vietnam for our teacher ceremony. 2 years passed away. I thought I share with my friend, the sangha. Some sangha live here. I told them that we go to Vietnam, but we have to do something benefit. Not just go there for Thai ceremony and visit, travel or something, but we had to do something valuable, So I organized with some of them. So this is the picture you see, the Bodhisattva vow. Before that, I have to say one thing I forgot. Bodhisattva have the two quality, loving kindness and compassion. So loving kindness may bring joy to the people in the morning, afternoon, or dinner, or evening, and release the suffering of the people in the morning, lunch, or afternoon, or evening. But this is just the way Thai said, may the morning bring people joy, may the afternoon relieve people's suffering. It's not been only morning we bring joy, and afternoon we relieve people's suffering. You can do that, whatever you want. Just the sentence is like a poem, because you know that our teacher, he's a poet. So that every sentence he wrote is poem. It's like a poem. So you see the picture here. When I came to Vietnam, I joined the group in Vietnam, the group with the name Breathe and Smile. The young people, they do not receive the 14 mindfulness training, but they organize every month to go to do something. Like they go to the beach to pick the trash, or the trash in the city. They plant the tree. They go to the place where the handicapped. These people, they have brain damage, So they make a vow that every month they go to do something. So for me, for the other intervened member, we are take the Bodhisattva vow. Many of you I know that you have been do a lot of things for society, but we can create it and connect it, the roof together. We can do something for the society. You don't need to do something great. You do something simple. Something simple like pick the trash in the city or in the sea. And one more video I want to share in Huế is the one who recorded my face, not beautiful, and I want to cut up. I don't know how to cut the video. So this is I joined with the Sangha Linh Châu to go to the area of the to the area with the Agent Orange. This is the consequence of the Vietnam world, So I think it's good that because when the people they create world, they didn't know the consequence of that. But this area, when I live in Vietnam, I went and visit the town, all the town. The parents, when they grow up, and they don't have any handicap, but when they married and they give birth to their children, and their children became like disability, because the water, they drink the water, they eat. So the Agent Orange still affect until now in the middle of Vietnam. So this is only some picture you can see that when we went there. And I just want to share with my friend who some of them, they just received the 14 mindfulness training, so they can see how the life is, because some people, they live in the comfortable life, convenient life, and maybe we didn't witness the suffering of many people placed in the world. I have been witness when I lived there in Vietnam. Even in the past, I lived in Vietnam, but I live in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. Where I live in the city, I never see war. I never seen something happen. But when I came there, when they asked me to go Huế, I lived there and I visit many places in Quảng Trị, and I saw many difficult life there. So the Bodhisattva vow, when we do like that, I felt when we sharing my time, my material to people, I felt that, I feel this is, it brings me something, happiness, like I share something with someone and not live selfishly for myself. So it's make me a lot of awareness about how to live in the society. And the third one, the Buddha teaching is about how to generate the happiness. Like you let go, you generate the happiness. Concentration generate happiness. But for me, I think this also generate happiness in our life. And the third one, why I wrote this, because this is what I said, I teaching. They said in Vietnamese is không biết rong chơi miền tịnh độ, làm người một kiếp cũng như không. So if you don't know how to enjoy the wonderful of the Pure Land in the present moment, being a human being for one lifetime is the same as nothing. This is I try my best to translate in English. I should ask my English teacher, but I don't have time. Because I received the talk only 1 week ago, something I only know that I give talk with Mr. Ratner 2 days ago. So this is the image when we visit the north of Hanoi. It's beautiful time. We also play. We also ram, how you say, ram, the beautiful of our planet. Our planet also Pure Land, another side. It's beautiful. It's not only war. It's not only natural disaster. Don't carry in ourselves a lot of negative thought. We need to carry something positive. It's not only the people violent, hatred, abuse, but also there are many people, they are good. They are bodhisattva. They are angel. We don't see them, but they behind us, like Mitchell. Okay, the next, the seven. This is also the one I would like to share with you, that one thing I cannot miss to share with you about generate happiness. What Thầy taught us in Vietnamese, ngày nào con còn biết ơn là ngày đó con còn hạnh phúc. As long as you are grateful, that day you will be happy. So, what I'm grateful of my parents, of my teacher, of my friends, my sangha, and my society, and all beings, the mineral, the plant, the tree. So I'm grateful with, like beautiful flower to give beauty for us to enjoy, water, fire, even water, a drop of water I want to save. Even though I know that sometimes we waste the water. We live in the place where you turn on the tap and the water just run down. But some place, they have no water at all. So if we knew that about how to save the water, how to save environment, then our Mother Earth will be happy. Yeah? But the way we live, we waste a lot of material or mineral. We destroy the mountain, the tree. Like, when I went to Vietnam, one place they built a lot of building with the style of Italian or European, but no one live like that city. And I went to a place they have no the people they live in the hut. Like my country in Vietnam, in the end of the bottom of Vietnam, the people are still very. They don't have the bridge to cross to go another river. They don't. I asked my uncle, auntie, why don't you build a bridge? Why the government? Where people? And they said there's no one care about this. So, if I want to go to the other river to see my uncle, only from like you pass the road, this road. But we need to go by boat, and difficult. But I don't know why the West, when the people, they spend a lot of money to building something, it's not useful. Like that city, many that city, I went to Vietnam, I met her, and I said, wow, it's waste of money. No one live, and for years the building will be damaged. And you see that? That's what, I don't know. So, okay, go back to this. As long as we are grateful, we have gratitude, so we still happiness. So when we gratitude, so what we do? We are building. We are loyalty. We not destroy. We not unloyal. We still here with the sangha. When I grateful my teacher, I've been with my teacher with the sangha. Even the sangha happened, what happened to my sangha, I'm still here. I am not leaving. That's it. We are grateful. By the way we live, not by the mouth, not by speaking, but the way we action. Yeah? And so maybe I go to conclusion. Conclusion is, before I go to conclusion, you see this? Because I just remember Thầy talk about God if you want to find God, you need to find God in the flower, in the song of bird, the bird singing, in the morning dawn, in the drop of water, you know. And and I remember Thầy also said that my continuation is gone already. I am reincarnation is already. I don't need to wait for I'm die, then I will reincarnation. Yeah, I have already go. I go into my student, and many people who read my book, who listen my Dharma talk, who practice what I teaching. So this is what I remember Thầy said, and I found a picture of this, and Thầy said, if you call Thầy name, you will immediately see me. You know, I think, I try to call his name, but I cannot see him. But later we see him, realize in our heart, not the person outside. So this is, you will see, you will immediately see me. So if you should try to practice when you go home if you want. Finally, Thầy said that one day Thầy shared with me that if you love me, then you should love each other. So this is what Thầy always remind me, and I share already many times, and anytime I share, I repeat again. So I hope that the happiness in our sangha only when we truly love each other and we still live in the spirit of harmony. That's what I said. Even though you are different sangha of New York, sangha of Maryland, Toronto, Montreal, but I hope that all the sangha, we love each other, you hand join hand, and sometimes we need to let go our opinion, our perception, to make the sangha more strong. Thank you very much. And you see the picture. This is the. I just want to share that. This is the brother and sister Plum Village. We enjoy the present moment, the beauty of the spring, and so this is the beauty only truly present if we are awareness, if we are aware of what's happened in here and now. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Thank you, dear sister. I'm feeling a little tight, so I'm going to stand up and shake a little, and I invite everyone else to do that. Well, good. I'm going to keep standing up for a little bit. But you can sit down or keep standing up. And either way, wow, Sister Wanim reminded me about 1991. And two things. One, just appreciating Sister Wanim for being a sister for more than 33 years. And what? I will in a minute. I don't have forget that for a minute. But I have two stories before the story. And I just wanted to remember 1991 and what Plum Village was and what we are today. And Sister Wanim remembers. So I went to Plum Village for the winter retreat in 1991 for 3 months. And I'm still amazed that I convinced both my employer and my wife that would be a good idea. But I was pretty desperate because I was suffering from an illness, from a spiritual illness. And I had met Thai the year before and talked with him a little. Got asked to organize a retreat 7 months later, which we did in Virginia in 1991, and talked to Thai again, and he said, well, come to Plum Village. And so I had the sense that I had this illness, like a cancer, and there was somebody in Australia who had a lot of success in treating this particular cancer. And so you go, right? Still amazed I pulled that off. And so I got there, and it wasn't quite what I imagined. I mean, one, compared to today, it was really, really Spartan. And, they put me in a room called in the stone house with sort of dripping timbers and no heat. And there was Thich Nhat Hanh and Tayak Tan, who I knew from the Sangha in Washington, and 4 novices monks. And there was Sister Chan Kong and Sister Chan Duke and a few others. There were about 6 or 8 sisters at that point. And there were about 25, 30 lay people. So the whole community, when Thai did a Dharma talk, was 42 people. And we did it in the kitchen in the upper hamlet because it was warm. And the Dharma hall wasn't. And there were, I think at that point, and I wasn't a member then, I think there were 30 OI members in the world. And today there's about close to 1,000 monastics. Everywhere in the world, the majority are in Asia now, in Vietnam and Thailand and other places. Some living and practicing quietly in Vietnam because it cannot be officially practiced in most temples. What did we figure? About 3,000 OI members, I think, in the world. And look at all of us. We've got more than that here in the room. Not more than 4,000, but more than the original 42 people. And so it's really grown in so many ways. Oh, the other interesting part is when I went in 1991, the cost to stay for a month in Plum Village was $200. It was a different world. And okay. And the other thing is just how I got here today. I think maybe a few days before, about a week ago, I got an email from Brother Phap Khoi saying, would you like to give the Dharma talk on Thursday with Sister Wanim? And I felt very honored. That was really special. And I was also exhausted at that point and had far too many emails in my inbox, and I didn't know what I would say. And so I said, I think I'm going to have to say no. And I went to bed and woke up in the morning with an outline of my talk already written for me in my head. And said, wow. And sent a note to Brother Phap Koi explaining what had happened and said, my storehouse consciousness wants to give this talk. And so I guess I'll go ahead. So that's how I got here. And let's see if we can make this work. Okay, we're gonna make. Screen sharing. Just have to make it bigger. I hate it when people write so small on the screen, on the board, that I can't read it, so I've tried to do it very large for everybody today. So what my storehouse consciousness woke up with was, let's talk about engaged Buddhism, and what it means to me in a very personal way. You know, and in a sense, that question for me of what engaged Buddhism means to me is sort of similar to what Sister Wanim has been talking about, which is really how can we touch joy and freedom in this life. And before I go farther, I just, this morning was thinking about engaged Buddhism. And you know, Thai would often talk about the flower, and the flower is not just the flower is the gardener and the sun and the soil. And I realized, especially us Westerners, don't have a really appreciation of all that it took to get to engaged Buddhism, all, you know, what went before. And so I wanted to say a little bit about that. And partly it's, if you go back to the Buddha, I mean, so much was already there. And if you read the Four Foundations of Mindfulness Sutra, it's all about being present in everyday life and being aware of when you walk, when you sit down, when you lie down, when you go to the bathroom. But Buddhism and any religion goes through ups and downs, and the Mahayana was a revitalization movement of about 700 to 1,000 years later. And during the colonial period, the Buddhist countries were all sort of in decline. Buddhism had become very superstitious. The religious historians talk about animism, a great belief in superstition and local deities that you give supplications to. And then there was colonialism, and both colonial powers taking over the country, new ideas coming in through the different languages, science, Christianity came in, and a lot of the Buddhist leaders, teachers were feeling, this isn't right. I mean, people are going off in these directions and we have so much to teach, but we're really not doing it. And there was across Asia, there was what historians call the beginning of Buddhist modernism, of a response to the colonial powers. And it was happening all over Asia. In Burma, what we call today the Vipassana movement was part of this revival. That they didn't meditate until the 1890s, when a few monks in Burma decided to start the tradition of meditation again, both for monastics and for lay people. And these 10-day retreats that many of us have gone on to in the Vipassana tradition don't go back to the Buddha, they go back to the 1890s. And in China, there was a famous teacher named Taksu, who, was born in 1890, and very much wanted to revitalize Buddhism, not just in China, but around the world. And what he taught, he called Buddhism for this world, or Buddhism for human life. And he especially focused on monastic education, modern publishing, social work, the importance of lay groups. Does that sound a little familiar? And Taksu spread it through the Chinese immigrant communities around Asia and the world. He was in the United States, he was in Vietnam, he taught it all over, and he very much influenced Vietnam because everybody there, like Thai, could read Chinese, all the monastics and people with an education. They couldn't speak it, but it was Sino-Vietnamese, so they could easily read all of his books. And there arose in Vietnam something Thai calls the Buddhist revival from the 1920s to the 1950s. And Thai's teachers were part of this Buddhist revival, and they set up new institutes and so on. So there was that energy of what we think of as engaged Buddhism, but not yet the name. And Thai came up with the name Engaged Buddhism after reading Jean-Paul Sartre, the French existentialist, and who talked about engagement and the importance of engagement. And he was reading Camus because he was fluent in French from, I don't know, the time he was 7 years old. And so he thought in French, he could read it, he was writing poetry in it and so on. And so 1954, I remember Thai saying, is when he first started using the word engaged Buddhism and continued to use it and taught it to other people. So that's how we got the term. Let's see if this works. Oh, okay. So I'm about to start now. And 20 some odd years ago, Thai asked me to become a Dharma teacher. And I was both honored and scared. And, he was such a wonderful teacher. He is such a wonderful teacher. And I sort of said, well, how do I do this? Because I don't know that much, and I'm certainly not practicing that much. And I came across this quote from here. I can turn it so you can see it. Theodore Roethke was a poet who taught at the University of Wisconsin. And he said, a teacher is someone who carries on their education in public. And said, I can do that. I mean, we're just all going to learn this together. And hopefully by the time I'm over, you will have learned something and I will have learned something. And so we're going to have some dialogue in all this as we go along. And it's just, I love that quote because it feels so real. As opposed to what some people call the garbage pail theory of education, where I have this knowledge and I'm going to dump it into your pail, and that's how education goes on. Okay. So this is a cut crystal. And sometime in the mid-90s at Plum Village, I had this realization. Thai, if you remember that, the basic Buddhism retreat, where you had to stand up and give a 3-minute Dharma talk in front of Thai. Everybody did. It was really interesting. And I got assigned to talk about the what do we call them? The four abodes of the Brahmas, the four Brahma Viharas. And I realized that there were four things, and we have four aspects of it, but there was really just one thing. And I imagined this sort of diamond figure, and that it's one thing, but we have many ways of looking at it. And in English, we talk about facets. And really, engaged Buddhism, or our life of practice, is one thing, but we have many windows of looking into it. And so when I woke that other morning, I came up with the three things about engaged Buddhism that were important to me, that helped me understand it, and I wanted to share with you. But there are many facets on a stone, so we're all entitled to our own facets, or the one that speaks to us. Okay, so facet number one is embodying the practice. And the phrase that comes to me is silence, simplicity, and community, which sounds a whole lot like an advertisement for monastic life. But it's really the practice Sister Juanim was talking about, the basic practice that Thai teaches over and over. And there's this quote from a talk he gave in Hanoi on it's called The Definition of Engaged Buddhism. And I'm getting tired talking. Susan, will you read this for me?
Thich Nhat Hanh, 2008 talk in Hanoi on the definition of engaged Buddhism. When we speak about engaged Buddhism, we speak first of a kind of Buddhism that is present in our daily life at every moment. When people hear about engaged Buddhism, they think of fighting for social justice, fighting for human rights, organizing demonstrations, and so on. But that is not true. That is part of the practice, but not the basic part. The basic part is to have the practice alive in every moment of your daily life. You should be there in order to attend to what is happening in the here and now, in the realm of the body, the realm of the mind, the realm of environment.
I love this quote. And for me, what it's saying is that we've got to start with ourselves. And if we can't work with our anger, if we can't work with our greed, how do we expect anyone else to? And to keep coming back to the basic practices that we're practicing here as a starting place for whatever we do as practitioners, as OI members, as humans. So it's super important. And one of the things he says, though, is as you do this, and as the sister was saying, as you calm down, as you move away from our focus on I, me, and mine, you open to the suffering of others. So that's facet number 2 for me. Karuna, compassion. Thay's definition of compassion is the capacity to see the suffering of others and respond to it. It's very a positive sort of way of looking at it rather than just, in English, the word compassion we use means to suffer with, which has a more passive quality to it. And then there's that line from Samantabhadra, the invocation of Samantabhadra, of practice, whatever it is, practicing joy on the path of service. And we got another quote. David, can you help me? You can sit there.
Tay writes, in peace is every step. Mindfulness must be engaged. When I was in Vietnam, so many of our villages were being bombed, along with my monastic brothers and sisters. I had to decide what to do. Should we continue to practice in our monasteries, or should we leave the meditation hall in order to help the people who were suffering under the bombs? After careful reflection, we decided to do both, to go out and help people and to do so in mindfulness. So we called it engaged Buddhism. Mindfulness must be engaged. Once there is seeing, there must be acting. Otherwise, what is the use of seeing? We must be aware of the real problems of the world. Then with mindfulness, we will know what to do and what not to do to be of help. If we maintain awareness of our breathing and continue to practice smiling, even in difficult situations, many people, animals, and plants will benefit from our way of doing things. You are massaging our Mother Earth every time your foot touches her. You are planting seeds of joy and peace. I try to do exactly that with every step. And I know that our Mother Earth is most appreciative. Peace is every step. Shall we continue on our journey?
Thank you, David. That touches me every time I read it, thinking about Thai in Vietnam during the early days of the Civil War. And he talks about often many of his monastic brothers and sisters went off to join, usually to join the Viet Cong, or to be, as well as existentialism, Marxism was a fire going through the intellectual classes of Vietnam then. We've got this basic practice of settling, and then this practice of reaching out, there's one more quote. I'll read this one. No, I'll read this one. Nope, what happened to it? Here it is. Shantideva, who was a Tibetan Thich Nhat Hanh, who lived 685 to 763, a little bit before. And this is from his book called The Way of the Bodhisattva. All the joy the world contains has come through wishing happiness for others. All the misery the world contains has come from wanting pleasure for oneself. Is there need for lengthy explanation? Childish beings look out for themselves, while Buddhas labor for the good of others. See the difference that divides them. What's that? I'll send you the whole thing. Okay. I'll send you. Don't worry about it. Anybody email me, I'll send you the whole PowerPoint, or I'll turn it into a PDF so it'll be even easier. Okay. Facet 3. And this is really important. Non-attachment to views. Truth is found in life. Don't ask for an absolute. That one of the things that has always impressed me about Thai is the subtlety, and the truth is found. Well, non-attachment to life is the second mindfulness training. It has the phrase, truth is found in life. And there he was in Vietnam for decades, with so many people determined they had the right view and wanted to enforce it on others, and were dogmatic in the sense, this is the way it is, I understand it, you don't. That's a problem for you. And if you don't change your mind, there may be consequences, right? And the way he's throughout his teachings is always reminding us that life is more complex than that. It's sort of back to the diamond, that everything has all these different facets to it. And if you're only seeing through one facet, you're not seeing the whole thing. And there's this quote, 2011, there was a June retreat at Plum Village, And a practitioner asked Thai, in the face of extreme violence, such as genocide, is it ever acceptable to respond to violence with action, including even violent action? And Thai began his answer by explaining, this is my words, by explaining that it is our inner intention that determines whether a response is nonviolent or violent. Will you be my reader? Can you read the next couple of slides? Sure. Okay.
Nonviolent action is not a technique. It is a way, not a technique. The foundation of nonviolent action is understanding and compassion. When you have understanding and compassion in your heart, everything you do will be nonviolent. Suppose someone is killing, someone is breaking the law, and you arrest him and put him in jail. Arresting that person and putting him in jail, is that violent or nonviolent? It depends on the situation. If you arrest that person, if you lock him up, and yet you do it because of understanding and compassion, that is nonviolent action. Even if you don't do anything, you allow the people to kill and to destroy. Although you don't do anything, that is also violence. Violence can be action or non-action. The outer appearance might be violent, but if you do it with a mind of understanding and compassion, it is not truly violent. I think nonviolence can never be completely absolute. We can say that we should be as nonviolent as we can. When we think of the military, we think that the things that the military do are only violent. But to conduct an army, to protect a town, to stop an invasion of a foreign army, there are many ways to do it. There are more violent ways and there are less violent ways. You can always choose. Maybe it is not possible to do it 100% nonviolent, but 80% nonviolent is better than 10% nonviolent. See? So don't ask for an absolute. You cannot be perfect in the practice. Do not worry that you will not be perfect. What is important is that you are determined to go that way. You do your best. That is what we need. So the 5 trainings are like that. You should go in the direction of understanding and compassion. You don't have to be perfect. If you know that you are doing your best, that is good enough for the sangha. That is good enough for the Buddha. So nonviolence is the same. We have to do our best.
Turn it off. Thank you. So, meant to bring my bell up, but I don't have it, but I'll just say ding. And I would like you to sit for a moment and just what aspect, what facet of engaged Buddhism arises for you. Just see what arises, what quality of being, what way of being in the world, what words you associate with engaged Buddhism. So close your eyes, go inside. Part 2. Turn to a neighbor, group of 2 or 3, and tell them what arose for you when you were sitting with engaged Buddhism. And we'll do it for, 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. What came up? as a Dear friends, that actually was the sound for one more minute. So finish what you want to say and then give your attention forward, please. Okay. One more. One. Sounded like people were into it. Thank you very much. I had something come up for me. Just listening is, I think when and if I do it again, I would add sangha building as another facet, because it's so important. And in our sangha, for me, sangha building is absolutely engaged practice, because we are laying the foundation for a different way of being in other people as we invite people into our sanghas, and in ourselves. That I know in my experience, and probably most of you would agree, that in offering the practice and trying to teach it, it changes us. We really go much deeper into our own practice. And we're bringing more people in, because change occurs when there's a change in people. Tai used to say, and this is sort of striking to think about, that we as Americans get the presidents we deserve, in the sense that it's the underlying energy, and it needs to change if you really want a qualitatively different sort of president. One other short announcement, and then is that Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, I think, a few of us are doing a panel on a multi-sangha project we started 2 years ago called Love in Action Ukraine, trying to offer direct humanitarian relief to people suffering from the war in Ukraine. And we wanted to show some pictures and talk about it. And more importantly, talk about how that has changed us and our sanghas, and encourage sanghas to develop direct, engaged practice, rather than waiting for Plum Village or all the monastics or all the Dharma teachers to come up with something. We can build it as individual sanghas or collectively as groups of sanghas to find ways to bring our practice into the world. So thank you all for your attention, and I feel very honored to be up here. And I'll turn it over to Sister Wanim to talk about walking meditation.
So, dear Noble Sangha, before we end, I just would like to share one more thing. Today we are assembly on the Bodhisattva, so the energy is very strong. So I would like to ask that when the From now, today, until the end of the retreat, when we have walking meditation, please send your love and compassion, energy to the people who die in the war, in the country as war, and the people die from the natural disaster, or people who die by the violence in the world today. And we also pray for our Mother Earth to be peace, to be at peace, and for the weather, for the wind and the rain be favorable, and the people heart at peace. So that's only one thing I would like to add. Anytime when we walk meditation together, we do that in our heart. So thank you very much.
One more thing. If you want the slides, send me an email, easy email to remember, joyfulnoodle@gmail.com. Joyfulnoodle, there's only one L in joyful, noodle@gmail.com.